Okay, so you might be noticing that there's now plastic on the middle. I may have forgotten to record some of the stuff. So when the ears came in, and I really liked this, and they're kind of lighter in color, and they kind of have this kind of weird orangish, pinkish yellow, but I like the contrast with the green. The center, way too dark, way too much purple. And so I tried to lift up some of the paint so that I could add in additional. So I have no idea if the center is going to look anything like what I want it to, or if it's still like super, super like hot pink. So let's find out together, because I had to wait an entire day for this to dry. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So, that's much better, actually. I don't know if you can see out here how purple this was. I don't mind having some of it, but it was like intense all over and really, really dark. So I'm still seeing some of the original line work that was underneath, but now I've gone back over with kind of more this kind of yellow orange, which I knew would make the background kind of appear more pink in color, so it would then work with the ears. So I'm actually quite happy with the way that turned out. And yes, I know I've got, bleed and stuff around here, and then stuff here that I'm going to need to fix, because that should be green, and this up in here, there's stuff up there. I'm not worried about that. That's easy to fix later when I'm going back in with just my paintbrush. So what this means is that's awesome. What this means is that today I'm going to be able to come in and lay color for the ears, and I'm going to bring a pencil in and make an adjustment here so that I can kind of see where I need to have some overlap there for the horn. And I'm going to probably work on trying to remove some of the green that's there. Even though it'll still be visible, you'll still be able to see it, but it'll overlap and it won't be so bad. So that's on the agenda for today. So I'm excited. So I'm going to pause the video so that I can do some of the prep work that's kind of the boring part, which is grabbing a trash bag and cutting it up so that I'll be able to lay it out here and lay it out the other side. But when I get ready to adjust the horn and that, I'll bring the video back in. Okay? So see you in just a second. All right, so welcome. I've shifted this down a little bit. I want you to be able to see over here and see this. Like, I started looking at this and I'm like, so what is the kind of weird bulging horn? And I believe it's because this needs to not be green. So part of what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out my pencils. And since I know I'm kind of going to this kind of yellowy orange, I want to be able to see that. I'm going to kind of just color that in for myself, because that needs to not be green. Okay. And that's going to make that horn look a little bit less goofball-y right there. And I'm going to come in here and I want to just I need to smooth this out. Like, this makes sense, but this does not. I'm trying to get this so that I can kind of see it a little bit. Because I want to see if I can lift that green. Ah! Okay, something just like slammed into the window. Pardon me. Okay, that was really strange. Y'all, for real, it sounded like something just flew right into one of my windows or was thrown at one of my windows. That's odd. So, but I didn't find nothing. I didn't find a bird stunned on the ground. And I didn't find anything like stuck or attached anywhere to anything. So, I don't know what that was about. Alright, so I'm going to move this orange back in here. Put that off to the side for now. And I've got a paper towel. And I've got one of my brushes with some water in it. because what I want to do is come in here. I want to get this, I want to get that all wet and juicy and pull that out just like that. And the reason I'm doing this is that I don't want this to get, I don't want all that green to be pulled in. Like, it's okay if some of it gets pulled in, but we don't need all of that. Make sure I get the green out, get some of this water. And then come on here and just soak that up. That helps quite a bit, actually. All right. Now, let me shift this back a little bit for you. So you're kind of more in the middle. Oh, hold on. The camera's going to go too. Camera's shifting. It's okay. I got you, buddy. My camera is like right at the edge of the table, and so is this in order to get it in there. All right. So I'm going to apply some water. I'm going to do one side at a time. And then I'm going to add my paint colors. And I am going to stick with some of these. Let me make sure that I get all the, because y'all, I'm running out of this color. And that's a problem. I need this bottle to last to do these horns. And this persimmon yellow does not, this daffodil yellow does not want to, some of this paint does not want to come off. Like, it is seriously stuck to the side. All right, I've got a little bit of the orange. This tangerine is just like perfection. And then because I want just a this hint. Okay, this is, I'm going to want the tiniest hint of some of this pink. I need to dilute this just a little bit because it does not want to pick up the paint on the bottom. There it goes. Ha, got you. And all over my hands. Okay. So I'm taking my sprayer. I'm adding water into my cup because I want to paint this on. I do not want to have paint going everywhere, so I'm going to use my brush in order to lay down a coating of water, basically predominantly where I want it. It's not going to be everywhere. I'm going to end up using the bag, that trash bag, in order to help me pull the color everywhere up to the edges where I want it to go. Okay. So I just want to get a nice little bit of water right there. Okay. Just to help me kind of blend out the watercolor. And then, because I'm going to have to be very careful with this yellow, I'm going to start with it because I got to pay attention to how much of it I grab. There it goes. All right. All right, so I'm going to grab a little bit more because it's going to blend with some of the other colors, which is fine. Grab some of my daffodil yellow. Put it like right there. Uh-oh. Spot relief. That picked up. And apparently I made a few drops elsewhere too. Okay. Good thing I was paying attention. Okay. So it's the daffodil yellow. I want to get a touch of the orange in. Okay. And then the last color that I want to add. Well, it's not the last color. Okay, so I want some of this tangerine. This tangerine is this kind of great, kind of reddish orange. And then I'm going to put, where'd it go? It's this one, moss rose. I'm going to put just a hint. So where I've added the darkness, I'm going to add just a hint of this pink. All right. Now comes the fun part. Okay, so I'm going to lay this down into here, and I've got to use this to move the color where I need it, as well as to manipulate the bag up and over where I need it to go without it going rogue. So this has got to pull up here where it doesn't want to go. So I need color use my finger there, pull that color up and around. And then I've got a spot here where I can see that I need to push some of that color through and around so that every little spot gets what I need. There we go. Got another little white spot here, which I don't want to have. And I need a spot here where I need to move some of the color because otherwise it's not getting moved around. So let me make some adjustments with some of the lines. So keep in mind that wherever you have little wiggles, that's where you get the line work, and I want to go flowing up and out that way. All right, so one side done. I want to make an adjustment. Okay, watch out, because see if I can do this without moving the camera. All right. You know, I'm really excited because once I have this part done, I can put this up onto the easel so that I can start working on another image. So I can work and show you this working on the easel and not have, and so then I can have two paintings going. Very excited by that. All right, let's get this going. Then y'all, I've even have considered getting back into some of the stuff that I used to do, which is I would do some of the art shows, the local art shows. And I just have to have more paintings available because right now I do not. Hold on, I dropped water somewhere. Okay, so as before, I'm going to start with the yellow because I know that I'm running low on the yellow, and so I need to make sure that I have enough of this to get all the way down where I need it to go. Okay? And the yellow is kind of this primary portion of this. Oh, y'all, I barely had enough to do that. And then some of this daffodil. I want a little darker. Right there is the horns join. A couple little spots up there. Okay. Some of the orange to kind of help blend some of this together. Give a little bit of brightness as well. So remember when I talked about before is that this is all connected to color theory. So what am I doing? I'm using colors that I know are going to blend, right? I'm using oranges and yellows, okay? And I know those are going to work together. Then I'm adding, so this tangerine has got a little undercurrent of some red. So I'm pulling in this really kind of pale colored pink, and I'm only dropping it in where I know I've got some of that tangerine color. Y'all, I'm going to have to add some of this in there. Otherwise I'm not going to have paint. Because I know that I can blend that, and it will blend into, all right, because I know I can blend those colors together. All right, so let's get this maneuvered here and get this, kind of get this going. All right, so I'm going to lay this in. Again, I'm going to push and maneuver my bag here so that I'm getting the color where I need it to go, and that I'm able to push my color, right? I'm able to pull the color so it's going to blend everywhere I need it to blend, and I can manipulate it to travel where I need it to travel. Right? So that's kind of the whole point, is I need it to travel where I need it to travel. I need it to not go where I don't want it to go. And I need paint to go where I want it. And so I'm going to have some overlap over here that I'm going to need to clean up. And all right, so right here I'm seeing that I need to pull some of this color in. All right, and then we are going to leave that to dry. So I'm going to have some cleanup. I can already tell over here I'm going to have some cleanup areas that I need to do. This one worked out really well, but I want you to see that it's starting to pull in some of the green because that water is right there along that edge, and it's pulling in that green. I'm starting to contemplate that I perhaps needed to do my cow first and get that color laid out, because if it bleeds into the green, it's not that big of a deal. I can usually use the green to clean it up and then have masked it and then laid in the green. So I don't use masking fluid all the time, and this is not kind of art that I normally do. This is kind of outside of my normal repertoire. It's a lesson learned. That's the one great thing about painting and any kind of art or creative pursuit that you do, is you learn. It's a lot like life. As we go through, we're going to have things not go exactly the way we want. Like that green is coming in there into the yellow. And I can already see that I've got a color over here that I don't want happening. Okay. So, but it happened. Mistakes, unexpected things occur in life, and now what? Well, we learn to adjust, right? And so once this is all dry, and I can then pull this off and really see, just like life, okay, that happened. Hold on. Let me let the dust settle from that, and let me see how I can either adjust, be flexible. Is it really that bad? Oh, actually, that turned out pretty well, right? So it gives us that kind of opportunity. Painting is the same thing. You have to be willing and be open and okay with quote unquote mistakes, right? And it's not always a mistake. Sometimes it's exactly what you needed to have happen. And painting is the same way. It wasn't exactly how you had it planned, but it's what needed to happen. So, yeah. All right, so we're going to let this dry. I'm going to pause. For you, it's going to be like no time at all has passed. And for me, it's going to be excruciating because I really want to see this. It's not 100%. So just so y'all know, it's not 100% what I pictured in my head. But I also didn't paint it the way I was picturing it in my head. Like what I was picturing in my head would have, okay, so I would have had to have come in and done, multiple layers. So I would have had to come in and laid in like my yellow and let it dry. And then I would have had to come in and paint in over it. So that it was much more of this kind of stained glass appearance. Yeah, that's just not really, gonna be something I'm gonna do. And for right or for wrong, I'm kind of like, eh. So I'm experimenting with the way I like to paint and the image in my head. Like, y'all, I can't even begin to tell you how excited I am by like this one ear. I mean, oh my gosh, that looks so great. And I'm going to really be able to do something with this. This one, in order to have it have that same kind of impact, I'm going to have to manipulate this one, which is okay. I can do that. I've got colored pencils. I've got paint. This has turned out beautifully. I am going to come in here. Like I know the eyes are right here. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to define kind of those eyes, maybe kind of dig in this kind of, like I know what it is. Like I don't need the eyes to know what it is. So, but I kind of want to see nostrils and eyeballs. That was not in my image in my head, but flexibility is key. All right. And then, so y'all, I will see you I realized that my camera went a little crooked. I will see you guys in just a second. Enjoy the zero break for you, but yeah, torture for me. I want it done. All right. Okay, folks, I checked. She be dry. So let's see what it looks like underneath. I'm a little scared and excited all at the same time because it could be good. It could be bad. Some of it's still a little juicy. And some of it didn't get all everywhere I wanted it to be. But that's not half bad. I kind of like that. All right, let's see this side. All right, again, this side's still juicy too. But, okay. All right. That's not bad. I'll have to do some work in here because the kind of makes it look like the horn is going across the front of the head. And even though it brought in some green here, mitigate some of that, pull out and deal with some of the yellow in here. But, okay, I can live with that. But it is still wet, so there is nothing else I can do until this bad boy is nice and dry. But it does mean that I can put it on the easel. Yay! So we can work on another round painting. I know which one I want to do. I just haven't kind of figured out some of the colors. I haven't figured out if I want to do some sort of multicolored background for it, or something more subtle. I want to do the triple spiral that's found on the entrance stone at New Grange. But I don't know what color it should be, which is kind of a problem because I gotta have somewhere to start. But y'all, I like this. Okay, I like the depth of the color in here, how the orange, notice how that orange pulled in and that tangerine and that little bit of pink that I put in there pulled through, kind of brightened up the intensity of that orange. The yellow, unfortunately this yellow did pick up some of the green, but that is easily to deal with. And I'll be able to come in with like some colored pencils and I'll be able to lift some of that out and add some more of the yellow because I'm going to then incorporate some of that color into here. But I'm happy. I'm actually happy with the way this turned out. Do a little dance. Okay. So y'all, I will pick up in the next video. This will be dry. It'll be sitting on the easel and we're going to bring in a round mandala style painting, which I have to wrap a canvas. So I know how exciting it is to see a canvas wrapped, so I will save y'all that and not wrap it on screen, because at some point y'all gonna get tired of watching that. Wrapping a canvas is not ultimately super difficult, but as an artist, it is something to know how to do. Oh, and since you're here and we're talking about canvas, hold on. Hold, please. Alright, I want to show you, and I gotta make sure I don't actually touch my canvas underneath. So this is a pre-wrapped canvas, okay? So I want you to be able to see how they tuck in their corners, and they wrap theirs a little differently. And then they've got, this is a fairly decent sized painting, so they've got some cross braces in here. But you can see how far apart that they put the staples, and they trim super, super close. I do not trim that close, but that gives you an idea of kind of the difference, if you will, between a pre-wrapped canvas and then when you get to wrap yourself. I get as nice of a little bounce in my canvas as they do in theirs. So, oh y'all, I'm so excited. Okay, and one side note, I know that I wasn't 100% sure about like this because this kind of lifted when I was painting these pieces, but I kind of like it. I kind of like the way that looks there. Woo! Okay. This is good. This is good. I'll see you in the next video. We'll work on that round canvas, and maybe I'll have figured out what color I want to do by that point. Hey. Oh, thanks for coming along, and I hope to see you in the next video.